The QC Quick Check application creates a checklist of anomalies in the current file. The user then has the ability to fix problems with object layer or symbology. If the layer or symbology anomaly is intentional, the user may create an exception for it. Keep in mind that only 10 of these exceptions are allowed per standard per discipline. All critical files must meet a minimum 95% compliance, and all non-critical files must meet a minimum 80% compliance. As you can see in the example file, the QC compliance is 86%. It is a critical file, so this fails. So we must correct some of or all of the 104 errors that were found. The rule file that was used to check this file is noted here. This one is the DSGN-RD file. Each object within the file that has an error is listed individually so that it can be dealt with. In the dialog, you can see layout, object type with layer, layer, color, weight, and line type. You have the option, while correcting your layers, to set all object properties to by layer. This should be on by default. Now, looking at the first error, we see that it is a polyline with layer 0. Layer 0 fails the test and is an invalid layer, so we need to fix the layer on this line. To correct errors in the objects, we can fix layer, fix object properties, create an exception, or zoom to. Since this particular object has an incorrect layer, we really need to see the object in order to determine what we think the most likely layer should be for that object. So we'll take this and zoom to. Now the highlighted object is seemingly part of a back of sidewalk line. So this object needs to fix layer. The dialog box to select a layer comes up and gives us a drop down from which we are able to choose sidewalk back. Click OK. That error disappears from the list. Upon clicking OK, the object's properties were all corrected, including the layer and all of the by-layer information, and we can move on to the next object. This one has a valid layer, a sidewalk back, but it is obviously the wrong color, weight, and line type. So this object needs object properties fixed. As soon as we click the button, that object is repaired and is no longer available on the list. If you have multiple items that have the correct layer but incorrect symbology information, you can hold down Control and click each one of these, and then right-click on one of them that is selected and click Fix Object Properties. All of those will be fixed at once. That is one way to bulk edit many of the items at once. Next, I will show the process of creating an exception. To demonstrate the use of an exception, I'll create an exception for this EOP line that has incorrect symbology. Right-click, Create Exception. The exception name has to be a minimum of 10 characters. The exception description has to be a minimum of 25 characters. After you've created your exception name and exception description, click OK. You'll see that that object also now disappears from the list of errors. Once you have gone through the entire list of objects and corrected the errors, you will see a compliance of 100%, 0 errors. You are now finished with Quick Check for this file.